Hockey Town, it's a place where dreams are found. We fought so many battles here, now we're the ones that they will fear. The club resides within our town. We won't stop, no letting down. The cup is ours, we're all to drink. It's our town, let's rock this ring. Hey, Hockey Town, not alone, just look around. Hey, Hockey Town, let's hear the sound. The focus drop, the people burn. Flesh speed, some brilliant daring. Red lights flash, the horns are blaring. Hockey Town, our hunger's fed by our men in white and red. They dazzle us before our eyes. Lord Stanley's Cup, we have the prize. Hockey Town, not alone, just look around. Hey, Hockey Town, where's the beat? Let's hear the sound. Hey, Hockey Town, play hockey.
Hi and welcome back to Main Street Prowlers. Today, standing in for Michael Hurd, we do have Michael Grumman. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Blooper reel. Glad to have you here, yes.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
And this is the comedy part we were talking about. Slapstick. Oh, sorry. What? But, he might be on with us next week. Let's hope so, because we also, towards the end of the show, we'll also have another huge announcement for next week's show as well. So, let's get into this weekend's games. Even though we played the same team again as
This
last
weekend?
week. Yeah.
Yes. And our next two home games will be the same way. We're on the road, though, this week.
Right. Our actual next home game will be against Danville, but other than that.
Yeah.
So, it did bring a bit more of a spark, though, this weekend than it did the previous weekend in the home opener.
That's what you call it.
I always call it
What?
Smart.
Oh.
that.
They played really good. They did. It's kind of hard, though, to play the refs and the team.
Yeah. Especially when it's like we have had the blind ref on here. It's exactly that. They're not making any good calls at all. They literally look away right when they see it too, and it's sad. That's what cost us the game on Friday.
And some stupid penalties.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
We won't give no names. Happy Gilmore.
However, they did make up for Saturday.
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
And I do admit the refs didn't miss a lot of calls. They missed a ton of calls on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
However, what really powered the powers was the 5-on-3 power play that they had.
Yes.
Executed very well.
Which is great because it's just confirms that we can do stuff when we're men up, which in previous seasons we haven't been able to really, I guess, get through because we've let the dumping get the best of us.
Well, previous seasons for the power play have been mediocre at best. However, last year, near the end of the season, was some great improvements towards that power play. The problem was mostly the penalty kill. Taking too many penalties, especially on the road, really cost us a chance a higher spot in the playoffs. Although we didn't make the playoffs, and we did play competitively against a wonderful Carolina team who went on to win the championship that year.
And a note on the Carolina thing. Hey, welcome to our show, Winston T-Bird.
So, at this point, though, the Prowlers, from what I've seen from the first 4 games of the season, have been above average. Besides the home opener, I know they played very well during the home opener, just came up short. The next game afterwards, they came up strong. The home opener could have went either way. Now, last Friday's game, however, having a 2-0 lead in the beginning of at the end of the first period, and then getting ran out 6 goals, well, that's kind of, But, however, like you said, the refs played a part, bad penalties played a part, and they learned how to step it up on Saturday night.
Which is good because they can learn from their mistakes, which is great for the team, that especially playing back-to-back nights.
Yes, I admit playing back-to-back nights is very strenuous for a team. But, we understand that this is the FHL. We only play on weekend. I'm sorry, the FPHL. We understand that they play on weekends, mostly Friday, Saturday, and some Sundays. Which, but at the same time, however, you have to be mentally ready all 3 games and be able to play hard like the Prowlers have been doing.
Yes.
Exactly. And it's sad that their standings don't show how hard they play, though.
Well, they're in a tough division.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they are.
I'm just glad they're not playing mentor 6 times a month.
Yeah.
You can say that again. But, let's hop into this first game, though. Which is the worst of the 2 games, but they still started off strong, which is exactly what they need to do, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, I misspoke there. They need to do it, but expand it through the whole game.
Yes, I do agree. Like, the first 2 goals by the Prowlers in the first period, wonderful goals. I'm not going to tell a lie, it was beautiful. Seeing them have the lead at the end of the first period was marvelous. The gameplay, they all played together as a unit, as a team. If they can play like that throughout the whole 60 minutes, I think we have a better shot at a nice playoff seed and a better run at home ice throughout the playoffs.
Exactly. And in the first game, though, we were outshot 40-30, though. But that's partly due to the fact that our defense started to get tired towards the end, because we were almost consistently up throughout the matchup. So,
yeah, if you take a look at the second period, the shots on goal 21-7. If you take a look at that, and then you give up a power play goal and a shorthanded goal in the same process, that's taxing on a team.
right,
Very taxing, especially if you're playing against the refs.
exactly. And that shouldn't make you like less confident, though, because you know your skills, so you should hone them even if you're getting bad calls against you.
At the same time, however, you have to understand there are such things that's called bad hockey nights.
Yes.
Yes.
Friday night, however, was one of those nights. I mean, we all have them. Every team has them, including the pros. So you have to understand that bad hockey nights come. But however, there's a bounce back night, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yep.
Exactly.
And Saturday definitely was a good bounce back night.
Yep.
Exactly. The first game is 3 stars, where the third star, Justin Portillo, who got 1 assist. Then from Columbus, it was Alize Stipnitz. Sorry. And then the first star was Jay Krupp, our all-favorite Jay Krupp.
Yeah.
He did have the good stats, so he did get 2 of the good goals for them.
Yes.
And I do have to admit, which is
I'll say for him too. He's seen, off ice. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I post pictures. He's on my page for my pictures, and he's always complimenting. But he's doing his job when he's on the ice. Is what he's doing. He is.
exactly.
We're not supposed to be friends. The guys are on ice. They're not friends. A lot of times after the off ice, a lot of them are best of friends.
Right, and it's especially since his time with us. I'm glad to see that he's finally flourished, starting to get the points behind him, and it's great because it's a new team that he's with, and he's an assistant coach now, so he has to show some bounds.
Right.
So,
But Krupp has always been that player, especially he played for Carolina last year. He's always was that player with Carolina. Although he didn't have to do that much in Carolina, he was always the guy that shows up every night.
exactly. And so let's get to the good news too. The first goal, which is only a minute and 4 seconds into the game, it's scored by Matt Graham, assisted by Matt Robertson and David Nippart, which is a newcomer to
Yes.
Yes.
And he's got some talent.
exactly.
Yeah,
He's
he has really good
Got some
talent.
talent.
not only in the scoring department, he's fast.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he can hit hard.
It definitely upset some people.
Was he the one that hit Saturday?
He hit
Ozone or whatever his name.
That got
Definitely took him through the mill.
Yeah.
Oslins did not like that at all.
No. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Right. The second goal, which was halfway through the first period, was scored by local Dalton Young, assisted by Portillo and Federley. Dalton Young has actually been a good SS to us
Yes,
lately.
Yeah.
You know, and he actually hasn't got a point in every game he's
Yeah,
played here so far.
exactly. Which is good because that's exactly the people we need. We need
Yes.
the consistency,
Right.
whether it be on the score sheet or just defending the net.
Yes.
We need their consistency. We need the players that will show up night to night. So, just doing their jobs. And Dalton Young is consistently producing for us.
Yes.
Yes, I will agree with that.
And it's I'll admit that kind of threw me for one because with him being off for 6 years, I didn't think he'd jump right back into it. But
He didn't lose that step.
No,
no,
he didn't really.
I guess it's just like getting back on a bike, especially coming from the OHL.
I mean, but at the same time, if you keep focused, keep that practice going, keep that mentality going, great things can happen. You know, the goal by Dalton Young proves that.
Exactly.
Great things can happen.
I keep on saying this each week, but we're seeing more and more beautiful goals this year.
I do agree with that.
Yep.
And
A lot of, and I'll even say, I've been seeing a lot of, sharing that puck more too.
Yeah.
Instead of just going up ice on our own, playing
Passing
that,
more.
Playing that hero of the game. They're sharing it a lot
Right.
more.
And that's why most of our goals now have 2 assists attached to
Yeah.
them. And it's glad to say. Because the more that we share, the more people get up to the MVP status.
Yep.
Yep.
And you want as many people as you can to get up into that kind of status. That just means that you have good chemistry, good
Yes.
producers, happy people on your team. So,
Yeah.
and but this is where it takes a downfall for the night, though. Because just 2 minutes into the second, though, is when Jay Krupp scored his first goal of the night, assisted by Borodenko and MJ Graham. If I'm remembering correctly, that was a questionable goal.
Yeah.
What's that?
The questionable goal. If I'm remembering it correctly. Because wasn't it where the net was pushed off?
Yes.
There,
Yes.
there was actually 2 goals where the net was off the Morons. That one there wasn't too much questionable. Like I said, from the view I could see, it was laying. The puck was laying on the line. My problem was the incident that happened right after, where a guy got knocked upside down onto the net. That was a blatant intent to injure a player. There was no reason to hit him. It was well after the whistle.
All right.
It's like, come on.
Exactly. And that's exactly what the league said after they won the lawsuit, is that we're not going to have any of that so-say crap.
Yeah, and it's
And
still
really-
happening.
Yeah, they need to start standing behind their word.
Yes. If you can give somebody, unfortunately, a game suspension for kicking somebody, why can't you enforce it on the other teams too?
Exactly. It's a two-way street. So,
When we get to the penalties, we can talk more on some of that.
all right.
Because I have a comment on the federally one myself.
I think we all do on that one. This is when Columbus tied up the game at 2 at 5:43 into the second. MJ Graham scored from Borodinko and Jay Krupp. So basically the same exact line, just a
Yeah.
different goal scorer. So
So again, as we talk about chemistry, that line's definitely got a lot of chemistry working together.
definitely need to somehow shut down that line.
Yes, gotta.
Yeah, line's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the shorthanded goal in 12-16 of this end of the second is when the River Drivers went up 3-2. Zach Pease and from Chase Fallis and Yuri Pastuka. I hope I said his last name right, Zach's.
What is it?
Zach P-A-S-E. Pease?
peace, yeah.
Zach Pease?
Yeah.
That's what I get out of it. And
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong. And if we butcher names, we apologize in advance.
and if you want to pronounce them better, just come see us.
Right.
We're at all the games, so for the home games.
And you can always come down to Big Boys and see us too.
Yep.
We actually encourage you guys to come down here. We have fans down here right now waiting for one of our contests right now. We are giving away a puck tonight. Please show up at the time our episode ends so you can have a chance to win a game played puck. We definitely want you to come down, especially they have 99-cent pumpkin pies right now. What's better than that? That's
Yeah, slice
Besides-
pumpkin pie for 99 cents.
yeah.
Besides coming down here, ordering one, and eating it yourself. So we encourage you come on down here.
Well, it would cost you more than 99 cents if you want the whole pie. It's a slice.
But either way, 99 cents for one slice.
But it's a
though.
good pie, though. That's
Yeah.
what I'm standing.
That's what we should do one of these times while they still gonna me and you have a pie eating contest.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on.
I have $5 on this guy right here. I'm sorry.
Actually, he's gotta be a good challenge when you watch how
Exactly.
quick I ate that burrito myself. I had it gone pretty quick, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
So, one of these post games, I'll bring a Big Boys pie. So,
All right. All right.
Look how quick I ate that banana cream pie. We only had 2 minutes to showtime, man.
that's right. Oh, food jokes.
Ugh.
Jay Krupp would score 1 minute 50 seconds into the third, though, to give them a 4-2 lead. Jay Krupp stay off the score sheet. This would be assisted by Stefansson, I'm sorry, and Vermillion.
That'd be nice.
Interesting name.
And then 5-2, 4 minutes and 38 seconds into the third. This is another shorthanded goal by Columbus, which we need a
Not have happen.
yes.
That means the Powers are on a power play, and somehow, some way, they let one get away. Or in this case, there's 2 shorthanded goals that let them get away.
Exactly. And it definitely hurts not just the stats, but the morals too.
Yes, it's shorthanded. That's what shorthanded goals do, unless you're the team that's scoring them.
Yeah. But you get the goal scored against, it's only pissing off your own goalie.
Yeah.
And he's your last line of defense. So,
Right.
and that was Stibnitov, assisted by Vermillion, and a former Prowler, Yanni Yarkos, another favorite of ours.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
really good player.
Yeah.
Very good player. We miss him.
Yep.
He,
Yeah, we definitely do.
And I just wish he would have came back to us after he left Hungary, but I completely understand the circumstances,
yeah.
which is unfortunate to say that he wasn't able to come back because of it. But glad to see that he's still in this league, though.
Yep.
We started to make a small push, 8:51 into the third, with a power play goal by Robertson, assisted by Jay and Zolkanich.
Once again, the Prowlers' top line coming through on that power play again.
Exactly, and we thought this could have been a great push for them to
Titan score.
exactly, because they started playing a lot harder at this point, and they definitely started
Who's that?
having more passion and more heart.
Yeah. Is that relative?
Sister,
Sister?
my sister Alex said hi to me and my friends. So I'll say hi, friends.
Hello.
Oh,
They definitely played with a lot more heart, though, after this point, because you could definitely tell because it brought it down to the wire. It was still 5-3 with just over half a minute left when we pulled our goalie, and they scored, unfortunately, to bring the score to 6-3. And that was Columbus's goal off of Fallis and Pease and Petuska. And that's the way of the scoring, unfortunately. It's quite sad because we played, even though it was a 6-3 loss, we still played with more heart though than I think we had played in our 4-3 loss to them the previous weekend.
But once again, I talk about the game of hockey and how
Exactly.
it bites you sometimes. You know, sometimes you get them, sometimes they get you. And the puck didn't bounce this way of the Prowlers. But, you know, there was a bounce back. However, right now, looking at this penalty sheet, whoo,
Yeah.
Let's just start running through it.
a lot of penalties in there.
First period.
man.
There was a hooking and slashing that's right at the same time by Burdenko and a Krupp. 3:38 into the game. So that gave us an immediate 5-on-3
Yes.
power play.
Yep.
But somehow we managed to screw even that up.
Yeah.
Because we got a hooking of our own by Zachary Zolkanich literally 5 seconds later.
Yeah, but that was a dive completely.
Yeah. But the way that Zach held himself, though, is what really sealed
Yeah.
the deal. Because we love Zach. We love how much passion he brings. It's just sometimes he goes overboard. But he has every right to go overboard because he has this persona from the refs that he's a bad guy, and he's not a bad guy. He's just a great player, and that's exactly why he's one of the fan favorites in Port Huron.
Yeah.
That's why other teams don't like him either, because I overheard a game last week that some of the Columbus fans think that he's somewhat of a goon. Somewhat of one. I mean, I tell him no, he doesn't do that much.
Yeah, he likes to instigate.
Well, it's hockey.
Right.
But he also knows how to get under
People's skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
without actually doing
Doing
anything,
anything,
though.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody hates him, because they can't put a pin in him. So,
He knows how to draw where to draw that line to, so he don't get in trouble.
exactly. It kept quiet for a little bit. 11-13 into the first, Dalton Young got a delay of game. Unfortunately, that's...
Which it was. He shot the puck out.
Yeah. It was no harm, no foul, but it's like
It happens.
Yeah. And a hooking by Joe Pace. 2 minutes later. God, the refs like hooking calls, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is sad. 17:21 is where all our little festivities started happening into the first. Will Laporte of Columbus got a roughing. Jonathan Giuliano got a slashing. And then, what about the next one, Mike?
A slew foot major by Joe Pace.
Oh, they
And
changed it again?
And then
Yeah.
kicking the player, match penalty, a game misconduct. So,
Because before it was kneeing
And kicking.
and kicking and the match.
now the funny
They've changed it like 3 times.
Now, that's the first time I've ever seen that scored on the scorecard for a penalty. A slew foot.
That's used to be an old 50s term
Yeah.
on the penalty shirt.
What's that?
Sheets. Slew foot.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Take their feet from underneath them.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And they got rid of that penalty because they couldn't actually really
Prove that it's actually
exactly.
took,
So now they put it in as now they put it in for final record, a slew foot penalty.
Yeah.
So something.
Okay, so basically, we're willing to see this penalty more times than not if it happens again.
Right.
All right.
But it's just weird to see a penalty call that hasn't been called in 60 years. So.
Once
One of
again,
those rare penalties.
hockey.
Right. And the FPHL. And then 1821, literally a minute later, Dalton Young and Chase Fallis got into it a little bit.
A little bit.
That was more of like an actual fight.
It was.
Yeah.
They both dropped their gloves. And I'm surprised that they only gave us 2 minutes on that one.
Yeah.
So
That was both definitely dropped the gloves. They were ready
It
to
should
go.
have been a 5,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, but hey,
It's
again, we're talking about the Watertown refs.
All right. I'm glad that he's not here tonight because I would have had a few select words for him. I'm just glad that I kept it calm on the Friday night post-game recap on that one.
Hey, he was down there at ice level, and they were offering their whistle and everything for him to come out and do their job.
And then the second period started off with actually too many men going to the Columbus River Dragons, which is quite amazing because this is not something they've called really too much on the away team.
Yeah.
So,
they've been a bit more consistent than normal.
right.
So, they will call it, especially if they say you expect with a 2-referee system for them to call it.
Exactly. But 21 seconds later, though, only 2 high stickings to go on both Will Laporte and Matt Graham.
See,
Kinda.
that had to be a use to stick penalty from what I'm looking at. However, I can't see 2 guys getting the same high sticking penalty. But then again, once again, it's the way they call it.
Right. And the next call, we actually do have a video for it that we'll be playing in a second, which is Justin Portillo fight against Will Laporte, which is, I want before the video even starts, what are your thoughts on the fight?
It was pretty good.
Good
Yeah,
fight.
I think
Really
I-
good fight.
Fight.
Myself, I think it's pretty even.
You don't
I
see
do. I
that
don't.
much like that.
I can't really say who won that one.
But it went on for it.
It did. It lasted a while. I think.
Right before
I
they
think
hit
they're
the
both
ground, the
pretty well
referees broke it
fatigued.
up.
Is what stopped that one.
Exactly. And that's definitely a great fight that we hopefully will see more in the future.
Yes.
Just hopefully no one gets hurt during it.
Yes.
Because we don't want that to happen. Here we go.
Well, I want to get 2 more people to do it with me to be the 3 blind mice.
And we're back.
Yes.
Well, after that comment. Well, that was a great fight, though. That's
Pretty evenly matched.
exactly. On the next one, it was just MJ Graham roughing 11:55 into the second. Another too many men, but this went to Port Huron 15:56 into the second.
Yeah, well, we can't have 8 people on the ice.
No.
Which is sad. Because we were just yelling, 2 minutes earlier about them, too.
Yes.
And then Edgar Oslands at 2:57 into the third got an interference, and then another too many men by Columbus at 8:26. And the attendance for this night is 8:57. And it's looking at the score sheet, I kind of figure why it was scored the way it was, because one of the referees was Joe Utek,
Yep.
which is
One of the referees that really doesn't like Port Huron.
Yeah.
He goes under the favor to the other team
yes.
half the time.
But he's a good guy. It's he's good off the ice. It's just some of his calls are questionable at best. So.
If he makes them.
Yes. We'll be right back to. Oh God, sorry. Definitely right back after these messages. I'm sorry, guys.
This is Crystal from the Port Huron Prowlers, back behind the scenes. I am looking for a set of fans or mini fans to help donate to the bus goods. We are looking for things like cases of water, fruit snacks, granola bars, nuts, chips, pretzels, anything that you can think of that is a fruit snack or any type of snack whatsoever. I'm wanting to include everybody in on this. We aren't going to do player adoptions this year. I want to get everybody involved. So, if you would like to be a part of that group and would like to donate things, please, please, please get in contact with me. The first bus trip leaves out next week, and I want to pack that bus. Thanks for joining, and find me on Facebook and send me that message. Bye, guys.
At Big Boy, we've got lots of omelets all day, every day. Like the Meaty Meat Lovers, Savory Southern, or Hearty Denver. It's your Big Boy.
Well, not really. I got to be all elite wrestling tomorrow, guys. If you're on wrestling. I can't believe I let myself get caught. That one was good.
Border City Paranormal is a professional paranormal team located in the Blue Water area. If you have any uneasy feelings, hear bumps in the night that cannot be explained, or hear rumors about your home or business, please give us a call.
Alright, and welcome back. Sorry about that, guys. Forgot to turn that off. Let's go on to the second game where it's a lot better of a game.
Much better score.
More fun.
A lot better.
Oh, they were both fun. I just
Oh, yeah.
better score
That's what I
because
meant.
we
Yeah.
won.
Exactly. So, this one was a 6-2 tilt in our favor, and it's great to report that we have another regulation win.
Yes.
Because it was getting questionable there, where we would even win in regulation because of those 2 overtime wins
Yes.
that we had at the start of the season.
Yes.
So, and I hate how they score it. I'll say it time and time again. I hate how they score the overtime wins. I hate the Olympics standings. I think they need to get rid of that altogether.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it probably makes for better competition too. To make sure you get those wins in regulation, so that way you don't have to force OT. Granted, it's nice to force OT, but
Yeah, but part of the reason why, from what I understood, they originally had it that way is because some teams were playing more games than the other. So with the way they did the point system, it made it, more of a win percentage to, than anything.
eligible.
But now that we have an even amount of teams and we're supposed to be playing the same amount of games, it shouldn't be,
Exactly.
but it's, at the same time, it does make for more competitive hockey and for teams to go for that regulation win.
Oh yes.
I still see it as a nuisance though, because I don't think having 3 points for a regulation win has any part in hockey though. Leave that for soccer. I'm sorry, but I guess that's just how I was raised growing up.
That's understandable.
You okay, Robert?
I got ants in my pants.
If you got ants in your pants, please get off the screen. But
Again, I won't say a word.
please don't. So the shots on goal were 38-33 for Port Huron too. So the defense did a little bit more.
Well,
on
Welcome,
Saturday.
Scott.
Hi, Scott. Glad to have you on the show.
let's call it like this. The second period was very kind to the Prowlers.
Oh yeah,
Very, very kind.
very kind.
Very kind to the Prowlers.
Because that's where we definitely blew a hole into the Columbus's hopes of winning the game. Let's just say that.
Yes, I would agree with you there. I also found the return of our goalie from last year.
Yes, welcome back.
James something says hi.
And then Scott says howdy too.
Hello. Corey Simons.
That's glad to have him back,
Yes.
especially since during the playoffs he was injured. When he's not battling injury, he's really on his game.
That is true. He showed it very well Saturday night.
Exactly.
Especially made a lot of amazing saves.
Yes.
Especially a couple of them that we thought that
Went
would
in,
actually
but they
went in.
didn't go in. Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we were looking right at it too, like right above. Because
He's quick.
yeah, that's if we're talking about fast gloves. He's had the fastest glove we've seen in Port Huron for 10, 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
And that's really saying something because we had Curtis Martineau, who is one of the best goalies we've seen and also won us the championship in our first year. So let's just hope that we can get a championship for Corey, though.
He really deserves one.
Yes, it's,
Especially where he's been playing, especially where he played last year. He deserves one.
exactly.
But okay, let's dive on to the game.
Isn't
shall
this
we?
his third year?
Speaking of Corey, he did get star number 3.
Yes.
Granted, however, if his score wasn't so lopsided, he probably would have gotten the first star.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second star was taken by Matt Graham, who did have 2 goals and 2 assists in the game, while Dalton J only having 1 goal got the first. But you have to admit, Dalton J's was more of like a Broadway show, to say the least.
Didn't he have the hat trick?
No, that was Robinson that had the
Oh, that
hat
was
trick.
Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robinson got a hat trick.
Now, Graham's play Saturday, although yes, he did get the first star, he did play his heart out. He should have got more goals Saturday than what his score sheet says.
Exactly.
So he, in my opinion, he is deserving of that first star.
Yeah.
Although Robinson did get a hat trick and Dawson J got 4 points off the ordeal. But Graham did put in a lot of the workload. Nothing against the other guys. They all put a lot of workload in. But Saturday night was Graham's workload night.
Exactly. And it's glad to see multiple people showing up. What does Scott say?
Russ beat us. Ice was uphill. Dogs scared us. Lightning was awful. Give me time. I can think of more excuses other than we got beat by played well. Thanks, Scott.
I mean, wonderful excuses. Yes, wonderful excuses. Can we have some? Can we give some for Friday night though? I mean,
Yeah, because that was, you're right, Scott, that was Pucks and Pup night.
Which is kind of, I wouldn't blame them for being thrown off for that kind of game. Seeing cats on the ice, dogs in the stands.
and an early start too. So
Yeah, and that was a hard played game on Friday night. So starting earlier than normal.
and not to mention once again, if the pucks went our way.
Exactly.
You know, they worked hard, the Powers worked hard, and they went our way. Not like Friday night. You saw more of a jump from both teams.
Exactly.
You know, more hitting from both teams. You know, like I said, with some of the play, especially in the second period, you know, the Powers started off with the advantage and jumped on it, and then they never looked back afterwards.
Exactly.
But we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Scott said it was too cold for us.
Confederates.
You get snow down there too, Scott, just to give you a heads up.
But us Yankees are better suited for it, though. All right.
Yeah, if they make it snow down there, but they don't get the negative degree big time like we get up here. Constant days in a row.
Okay.
That's why we have all this blubber up here. But to open the score though, 3:56 in the first, Jay Krupp opened it, assisted from MJ Graham and Stiffness Sauce.
Scott asked, building was windy.
Yeah, it was really chilly. I felt it. At least 60 miles per hour. But,
Once again, Jay Krupp, scoring guy on that line.
Yes.
Columbus's first line.
Yeah.
and this is exactly why I don't blame Scott for taking him down with him.
I agree. He took a great player. He's got a great player.
And it's making him a leader even more on the team too. That's
Yes.
I hate to see Jay Krupp, but
You gotta understand, he's good.
yes,
He's good.
Fast player.
yeah, and he breaks up plays too.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly how he should be.
and the line that he's on, he's well fitted. Like you just talked about that chemistry. That Jay Krupp line for Columbus, that's chemistry.
Exactly.
Just like that Dalton J, Matt Robinson, It's organic line plus. That's chemistry.
Yeah.
Talk about Dalton J. 9:59, literally halfway through the first. Dalton J. scored from Matt Robertson to tie up the game.
Wasn't that the weird goal?
Broadway spectacle kind of one. Yes, yeah. And that's
But it's Dalton J.
he will score.
You expect that.
If you don't keep on him, he's
Literally, you have to take him out of the play,
yeah.
and
Yep.
He,
he will find somehow. 47 seconds into the second, though, Robertson scored his first goal of the night from Arnott and Graham.
That was the 5-on-3.
Yes. As
That's once again the Prowlers taking advantage of that power play that they have.
yes.
Especially a 5-on-3, you are supposed to score on it. And the Prowlers took very good advantage of that 5-on-3.
exactly. And it's, again, I say I'm glad to see that bump in the power play and them taking advantage of it.
Right.
Excuse me.
You're not. There's no excuse for you. 5:36 into the second, though. The Columbus did tie it up from Borodenko, assisted by Sevestin, which is. I don't even remember that goal.
What was that?
I think that was the goal after their penalty, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they probably had a penalty before.
Was that the 5-on-3?
No, it wasn't a 5-on-3.
It was an even
I
strength
think
goal.
it was even strength goal.
okay.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the goal after the penalty. Huh?
No.
No, it wasn't. Okay, I'm sorry. But it was still. It's one of those goals that Columbus actually needed,
Yeah.
Right.
to help their style of play.
And it's definitely was a hard fought few minutes right after that too, to see who would go back up on top. And thank God, 3 minutes later, Port Huron went back on top. For Graham to get his first goal of the game, assisted by Robertson and Strack. That's a familiar name from the first weekend, Strack.
Yeah.
Because he was one of the players that would consistently score the first weekend
Yeah.
for us. So it's good that he's getting back in the groove. Sorry, guys. And then Matt Graham felt real confident. 4 minutes later, Matt Graham would score again from Arnott and Robertson. Excuse me. So that's what guaranteed. Oh, sorry, Pop guys. I always make the mistake. I'm sorry. That goal essentially is what made him the second star of the game.
I agree. Well, actually, I agree. Also, you got to look at that second period. The Prowlers, like I said, had an 18-8 shot advantage in the second period. So they really stepped up the style of play. They really brought it to Columbus. Not to mention, once again, start off with the 5-on-3 and that long extended power play that the Prowlers had in the beginning of the period. I think they had 7 or 8 shots on that from that 5-on-3 after they scored a goal, and then once again their power play they still made 3 or 4 shots on that 5-on-4.
Exactly.
So they started off jumping.
And even if you can't get the puck past the goalie, you need to fluster him somehow.
Yeah.
And because you'll wear him down eventually, and it's because he'll eventually get tired because he can't take the constant shots against him.
Exactly.
So
And again, that's part of the, our Friday night game, same thing. Your goalie can only stop so many. You got to have your other players putting their part in to help that goalie too.
exactly. And it's this is why you're seeing a lot of high scores lately, because they're getting the constant shots off.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess it's making people happy, because I've been hearing a lot of people complain that it was a lot of even the NHL games were low scoring.
You know, myself,
Yeah.
though, I like a close game better. I do.
Right.
I like the low scoring games don't bother me. Work. They got to work for it. They got to work for that win. Yeah, it's nice to get the scores like this once in a while too. But I kind of prefer the
low scoring needs to be more defense.
win
and
by
all that.
one or two. It's kind of nice.
But even with this game, though, if you looked at the score, yes, the Pounders did win by a nice large amount. But look at the type of shots they had.
Yes.
I mean, screen shots, rebound
Oh, yes.
shots. Them are the games that, your goalie, sure enough, your goalie can't stop everything. And even if he did, the game probably would have been closer.
Yeah.
But once again, Columbus played too much defense in that second period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can't put that on. That again goes to putting it on your goalie. It's only going to piss him off even more. You'll hear me say that time and time again, but I grew up playing a goalie. I understand where they come from. I understand why they always get pissed at their own teammates. So it's because you're the
Why weren't you there?
exactly, and it brings me back to the scene of the Mighty Ducks 2 where Goldberg is trying to almost beat the crap out of his own team, and after letting up 3-4 goals.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to be there, and this is exactly why, because he can't stop everything. He only has so much within himself. So protect your goalie, and then everything will be fine.
Right.
To close out the second, though, Matt Robertson would get his second goal to bring the score up to 5-2. It was assist from Dalton Young and Matt Graham. So
You can't really say too much about Robinson. Robinson was named the captain this year for a reason.
Yes.
He is proven, not taking nothing away from Dalton J, a proven scorer.
Yes.
right,
So if you don't see Jay's name on that list, you usually see Robinson's name on that list.
and he's not a selfish player though either.
I never said he was selfish.
But
But at the same time, the opportunity comes for Robinson to score, he
Exactly.
scores.
Yes.
Same thing with Jay. The opportunity for Jay to score, he scores.
That's the same way with Matt Graham.
Graham, same way with Matt Graham, he scores.
and that's exactly what we need, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And finish out the game scoring, Matt Robertson would get an empty net hat trick goal assisted by Paul Arnott, which is Paul Arnott got another big game for himself, netting 3 assists. So it's great that we have an all around team this year.
Yeah.
We can get stuff done if we have that chemistry night in and night out.
Yes.
Yes.
Because even players that weren't proven to be scorers have stepped up this year, like Paul Arnott netting 3 assists. They're all great players in their own right, but to finally get onto the score sheet.
But Arnott had plenty of chances last year to get on that score sheet too.
Right.
It just didn't pan out that way.
Exactly.
Arnott's been good for us. It's just, now you're starting to see him being rewarded by getting points on the board.
And he was rewarded because he's also a patient player, though, too.
Exactly.
So everything will happen in time. Just let it be. This is definitely a shorter penalty list, though, too, which is kind of a good thing.
If you say so.
As it, in a way, it is, because we don't need more penalties against them.
No, that's not why I say that.
I agree with it. There should have been more penalties called. But
It's not even that. When we get to it, I'll voice my opinion.
All right.
minute 57 seconds into the first, high sticking against Alex Strack. And then 18:10 into the first, Edgar Olsland's for roughing. 18:44 into the first, Yuri Pestuka for holding. And then second period, 42 seconds, Zach Peasy for tripping. Chase Fallis, this is probably the one that you're talking about. The roughing call.
No.
No.
No, yeah.
Nope.
11:38 for roughing, and that same time he was roughing against David Nippard.
That one there that's one of the ones I'm talking about. He should have, actually, no, that wouldn't be it either, would it? Is it?
Wasn't it?
That
wasn't
was
it
the one.
Osland.
Osland's
Yeah,
is
Osland's
the next
the
one.
one
It's one of the
you're
ones
talking
that.
about.
Yeah,
No.
but the Nippard and Fallis penalties, I couldn't really tell the slash on Nippard's part, but maybe I would say both of them should have got called for roughing instead.
Yeah.
But either way, it should have both been in. And then 18:10, Edgar Olsland's got a roughing and a 10-minute misconduct.
That's the one.
That's one of the ones a lot of us don't understand because he was on the guy's back, slamming him down to the ice and would not let him up and kept slamming him back down.
Right.
You can't sit on somebody's back and just keep pounding on them.
But then the way that it was called, like you called a roughing penalty for that one.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, that's
That's intent to injure.
That's at least a 5-minute minute. Granted, I'm glad they gave him the express like game misconduct penalty. However, looking at that, it's like you should at least give him 5 minutes for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I believe it's the next one that's coming up too. That
Oh,
The next one is Paul Arnoff for charging.
okay, all right.
no.
That was definitely
yeah.
that was not charging. That was an elbow. Hey, because I do agree. And if you actually watch the replay on the EBW TV, that was an
That was an elbow.
That was an elbow.
But it was an awkward
And
elbow.
it was kind of a flying elbow.
It
Yeah.
wasn't even
And that-
awkward. It was just like he took 2
was like
steps
Superman.
and bam,
Yeah,
there you go.
That was an elbow.
Right, and that was a stupid penalty on that
Huh?
part.
First penalty was the one you're talking about.
The very first penalty.
Yes, that was the third.
Oh, okay. The
Against
first.
Sterling.
Osland's for roughing.
No,
No.
the high stick,
High stick.
which wasn't a high stick.
There was no high sticking in this one.
They're here. First high stick.
Alex Strack for us.
That's us.
So
Them.
So it was a previous night, because it was
Yeah.
MJ Graham.
okay.
Yeah.
Federley got punched in the face. That was not a high stick. That was a punch to the face, and it drew blood. So even if it was a high stick, and if that's what they want to call it, since there was blood drawn, it should have been a 4-minute, not a 2. So
Right.
again, the refs are getting the calls wrong.
But unfortunately, that's not anything new to this league.
Nope.
And I'm really hoping it gets cleaned up near the end of the season as the season goes along, truthfully. I mean, granted, this is the beginning. We're now 6-7 games in for some of these teams.
Yes.
Um,
Well, as we know, some of these type of penalties not being called the way they're supposed to can actually cost a team a game too.
Right.
That's the the whole point of the advantage of trying to get maybe even back into the game. If a call's not being called right for the right amount of time, that's not fair to the team. That I don't care if it's my team or their team. If it's not being called right, it's not gonna have a big effect on the outcome of the game.
Exactly.
I agree.
And the final call of the night was to Columbus for a cross-checking at 12:02 in the third. And then the total attendance for the Dogs night, excluding dogs, let's just put it that, excluding the dog numbers, was 1194. So that makes our 3 out of 4 games over 1,000.
Yes.
So that's a good thing for this team.
Yes.
That we're finally having faith in this team that they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Joe has been trying to reassure this town.
Yep.
That this hockey team's not going anywhere.
Now,
Exactly.
I can probably explain the attendance for Friday night. There was another Port Huron team playing in a playoff game, and I'm just going to mention it.
But here's one thing, like Scott Rand said too in our interview with him. Then they should have promoted it a different way to get other people to fill those seats.
Exactly.
That is true. That is true.
You can't really blame another event because if you promote it, you can get the people in those seats.
And that is true, but I'm not blaming another event. But also at the same time, that game was also shown on an app.
Yeah.
You know.
Which is
Because there was like 90% of us watching the game while we're watching that.
which is
If we weren't
that's
watching, we were listening
what
to it.
they should have done in promoting. Watch the game at the game.
They could have put it on the
They
TVs at
could
the
do.
arena.
Right.
They
True.
could have had the game on the theater.
Or
They did
no,
the
I mean,
Michigan State
no,
game
they
that one time.
those TVs they have there are smart TVs. They could have put it on the TVs down in the bar and everything.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that's true. Yeah, the game was on TV.
So let's go to our final commercial break before we
Say goodbye.
say our goodbyes.
It's actually
Hey guys, this is Crystal from the Port Huron Prowlers, back behind the scenes. I am looking for a set of fans or mini fans to help donate to the bus goods. We are looking for things like cases of water, fruit snacks, granola bars, nuts, chips, pretzels, anything that you can think of that is a fruit snack or any type of snack whatsoever. I'm wanting to include everybody in on this. We aren't going to do player adoptions this year. I want to get everybody involved. So, if you would like to be a part of that group and would like to donate things, please, please, please get in contact with me. The first bus trip leaves out next week, and I want to pack that bus. Thanks for joining, and find me on Facebook and send me that message. Bye, guys.
At Big Boy, we've got lots of omelets all day, every day. Like the Meaty Meat Lovers, Savory Southern, or Hearty Denver. It's your Big Boy.
Well, not really. I got the beat. Oh, Elite Wrestling tomorrow, guys. If you're on the wrestling. I can't believe I let myself get caught. That one was good.
Border City Paranormal is a professional paranormal team located in the Blue Water area. If you have any uneasy feelings, hear bumps in the night that cannot be explained, or hear rumors about your home or business, please give us a call.
Yes.
Hi, and welcome back to the final minutes of the episode. If you have any questions, please put them in now so we can answer them. There's actually, I didn't forget to bring it up with you guys. There is one thing that I thought was kind of ironic after last week's episode that happened. Because we were talking about the expansion teams, where we possibly could see a team. I had mentioned Memphis, Tennessee that last week. And not even an hour later, there was an announcement by a rather weird page that Bus League Hockey shared. It's where it said, "Bring pro hockey back to Memphis," which is an owner that actually wants to bring an FPHL team to Memphis, Tennessee. And they're in pretty serious talks with the league right now, as well as the Landers Center, which used to be the home of the Memphis River Kings before they moved down to Mississippi. So, that's, of course, a rumor right now, but let's see how that pans out, because it's just weird that happened within an hour of our show. So,
Yes.
That is awkward.
and seems like a pretty serious investor too.
It'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more teams, you know.
Exactly.
So,
Road trip?
yeah.
Let's go to Tennessee, guys.
I don't know about that. I drove down to Paris, Tennessee the one time. Yeah.
Traffic's awful.
You know, it wasn't even the traffic. You know, we did a 24-hour run because it's a 12-hour drive. One of us drove down there while the other one slept, and the other one drove back. We had to go pick up my friend's kid for her visit for Thanksgiving. So it was there and straight back. So
So it was kind of a hell.
yeah.
Kind of rough.
Which is not bad for me because I don't sleep anyways.
Trail. Which I always get on your case for, though. Let's get to the standings, though, after last week, because we finally did have our first Sunday game. First two Sunday games that we saw, too. They weren't played by Port Huron, but we still saw Sunday games.
Yeah.
Which is kind of exciting in a way, because that's how a lot of people will definitely catch up, because those will be the off nights where the sleeper will most likely win.
Yeah. Which I believe we have 3 of them this year.
Exactly. So it could go either way.
Yeah. And we have, 3 Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3
So-
Wednesday, 3 Sundays.
So let's see how those games go. In the Eastern Division, let's start with that, because it's Watertown and Mentor have both played 9 games. Watertown sits in first at 8-1 and 24 points, and Mentor sits at 7-2 with 21 points, and then third goes to Elmira at 33-1-1 with 12 points. Danbury hat tricks, 2-4-2, 2-4-0-2 with 8 points, and Delaware Thunder at 2-6-0-0 with 6 points. Is there any surprise in that jump for Watertown?
No.
They got a good team.
My surprise is Mentor.
Yeah.
I really thought Elmira would be second place.
Yeah,
in the division.
I would too. I would.
Exactly. And now on to the Western Division. Unsurprisingly, Carolina is sitting atop the Western Division with a record of 7-1. And so they have 21 points. So not first in the league, but they're still doing pretty well. Sitting in second is Columbus, 3-3-1-1 for 12 points. Sitting in third is Danville, 4-5 for 12 points. Sitting in fourth is at 2-4-2 is your boys from Port Huron with 10 points. And sitting in fifth is Battle Creek, 0-9 for 0 points, who also made headlines this week
Yes,
too.
they fired the coach.
Which is
Who did?
Battle Creek.
Oh, Battle Creek.
Interim coach though.
um
Same night.
yeah.
Wow.
I honestly think that's a good move for them because if they want to be competitive at all, they can't. They have to be taken seriously, and sitting at 0-9 is no one will take you seriously
Especially
at all.
this early in the season.
Exactly.
Well, you know, our first season we started off pretty bad too.
Yeah.
You know, but
Really bounced back.
a turnaround is what Battle Creek actually needs, especially with these goals against, these goals for. I mean, I understand they get blown out, but I do believe these guys can keep fighting and keep going in the right direction. I'm gonna call a wild card shot. They'll make the playoffs this year.
You'll be the only one of us.
I understand I'll be the only way out, but I might be right. I'm calling wild card shot.
Wild card?
Wild card, yes.
But we'll definitely have you on closer to the playoffs and see what happens. But
Anybody need anything else back here?
No.
Any more to drink or anything?
No.
All right.
So we do have 2 games coming up this weekend. If anybody wants to make the road trip down to Mentor. Friday and Saturday. The Friday game, which starts at 7:35, and the Saturday game does start at 6:30. So if you do end up going down there or watching it on YouTube, make sure that you have both times correct because it is offsetting times. For Friday's game, prediction.
Prowlers, 4-2 us.
5-3.
Mike?
Us.
I give you 5-4, but I'm going to say overtime.
Oh. Prowlers?
Yes, Prowlers.
That puts me in a bind, doesn't it? I'm going for a 3-1 low scoring affair.
What do you think over there, Shadow?
4-3.
And then the shadow over there says 4-3. Saturday's game.
2-0 us. Corey Simmons shutout.
I'd love to see a shutout, but I'm not going to give it a shutout. I'm going to say 2-1.
You know what? Simmons is actually that good. I give you 3-0.
Oh.
Us.
Ooh. One up on me, huh?
Shadow, are you going for a third?
I'm gonna say 4-1.
I'm sorry, you guys are going alone on that one because I'm saying 5-4 overtime Prowlers. So, and I'm gonna say a lot of penalties too, because last year they were a goon team, and it's essentially the same roster too, which is
However, they're playing more hockey. So
Yeah.
I don't see that
Yeah,
many
young.
penalties. But I understand this is still Mentor.
Is that one young guy that threw the gloves still on the team, too?
yep.
Yeah.
So it's
Which, again, was no penalty, which should have been, to take a
Throwing
player's
it
glove
in the
and
air.
throw it out of off the ice, which is supposed to be automatic, unsportsmanlike conduct.
that's automatic game misconduct.
Yeah. You can't take somebody's gear and throw it off the ice.
But once again,
It's the FBHL.
Right. And it's we do have an important announcement too. Since we do have a important person coming on next week. Justin Portillo, who you saw his fight earlier today, will be coming on next week. Same time at Big Boy. That's we'll be talking about his hockey experience. He'll be giving us some insight on this coming up weekend's games, and so tune in for that. And
Our next home game is Black Friday.
so good luck getting out of that. But it is against Danville, so
so you can get all your shopping done and then
And then
come to the game.
Just make sure you don't do both at the same time.
Well, they can do some shopping at the arena for their,
True.
jerseys and
Yeah.
stuff.
Right, especially
Tickets.
this shirt right here is
Yeah.
now part of the shop. I have it.
That is a beautiful logo too.
Plus, you can get tickets for stocking.
Exactly.
Get some hockey tickets to give to your friends and family.
Come out see a game. I gotta admit, I'm a guy that watches the NHL, but since I've been watching the Port Huron Prowlers, well,
I've missed most of the Red Wing games, which actually right now is tied 1-1.
but come
Which
out,
it would be 2-1, but they took one of the goals away from Red Wings.
figured.
For being reviewed.
But come out, support the Prowlers. Like they said that the over 1,000 for the 3 or 4 games at home, lovely. More you get a
Let's do
very
this all year.
Which we haven't had over 1,000, 5, I believe 5 seasons other than the championship.
Right.
So you come out, you may end up getting a championship. Seriously, the Prowlers are that good. Come out and watch them.
Also, next week, come out, say hi to us, hang out with us at Big Boy, because we will have a major giveaway on the next episode. So join us. We have a lot of booths open for you guys. Come on. So
And come get their appetizers.
it's half off after 8. So
Yes.
it can't be that. So that's thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys later.
Good night.
Have a good night, guys.